Not one single so-called cage has been constructed by the Trump administration. Not one. During the presidency of Barack Obama, we didn't see outrage from the Democrats then. We didn't see prominent Democrat members of Congress condemning the, quote, concentration camps and, quote, torture then. Again, President Trump has not built a single cage. The cages you see in the news and on Twitter were constructed by President Obama's administration. So what do Democrats do when they have to acknowledge a problem that doesn't align with their politics? They look for someone to blame. Who else but the President of the United States and the hardworking men and women who work tirelessly every day trying to secure our border? The comments from Democrats in Congress, I think, only serve to demean the public service of our brave Border Patrol employees and, frankly, and this is important, to spark unnecessary outrage. Think about what we've heard from them. Abolish ICE. Abolish DHS. The entire department. Walls are immoral, the Speaker of the House said, even though there's a wall in her state. Non-citizens should be able to vote. Taxpayers should finance health care for all illegals. Concentration camps. They've called detention facilities concentration camps. Earlier this week, self-proclaimed member of Antifa showed up at an ICE detention center outside of Seattle, set cars on fire, and attempted to burn down the building. In his written manifesto, this Antifa member wrote that he felt it was necessary to take action against these, quote, concentration camps. Not one single so-called cage has been constructed by the Trump administration. Not one. During the presidency of Barack Obama, we didn't see outrage from the Democrats then. We didn't see prominent Democrat members of Congress condemning the, quote, concentration camps and, quote, torture then. Again, President Trump has not built a single cage. The cages you see in the news and on Twitter were constructed by President Obama's administration. In fact, the only thing the Trump administration has used chain link fence for is one temporary facility through which immigrants pass when they initially come and they're getting screened. The detention facilities that the Trump administration built are all air-conditioned, have fresh water, and supplies and folks trained to administer health care and those supplies. You would never know that and listen to the Democrats. After months of the administration highlighting the crisis at the border and making urgent calls for more funding, it wasn't until just before July 4th that House Democrats finally agreed to pass the $4.6 billion emergency border funding bill to provide some resources needed at the border. And despite the size and scope of the crisis, some Democrats still choose not to support this bill, choosing instead to play politics with the border rather than work on the solutions that we all know need to happen. Fabricating stories of cruelty and besmirching the hardworking civil servants protecting the border and providing humanitarian assistance does nothing to help solve the problem. Putting a Band-Aid over the border crisis does not fix the root causes. Democrats are serious. If they're serious about solving the border crisis, they must address, as I said before, the Flores settlement agreement, asylum loopholes, and the other laws and court decisions that incentivize aliens to make the dangerous journey to the United States. Most of all, they must stop obstructing the border security wall. This is one of the greatest challenges of our time, and frankly, it's getting worse by the day. I look forward to hearing from Secretary McAleenan, and as always, we stand ready to work with our Democrat colleagues to address the root causes, the real causes of this crisis at the southern border. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.